Hello and welcome to another episode of Guiding You Home. My name's Travis Avila and I am joined by Bobby Kelly. How you doing?
Hello. I'm great. Happy to be here. This is a fun one.
It's a fun one because we're here to talk about Senior Guapo, Mr. Jeff Landon. This one's all about you, buddy. How you feeling?
Great. Excited to share a little bit, get personal and real.
Yeah. Hey, you're going to really enjoy this episode getting to know Mr. Jeff Landon. Hope you enjoy. Today's episode is brought to you by Landmark Real Estate Group. Jeff, let's talk buyer's consults.
And Travis, we love buyer's consults. And the reason why is we have so many people that come to us that are frustrated, tired of looking for homes and not getting the homes that they want. A lot of times people try to do it on their own, or they've been working with a professional that hasn't really given them the resources they need to achieve home ownership. We do things a little bit differently, or maybe a lot differently here at Landmark Group. We provide them with a program called Home Hunter that we've worked very hard to put together, ensuring that they reach their success in home ownership needs. So if you're looking to buy a home today and you want a professional that will get you the home that you've been looking for, call us at 805-904-0012. We look forward to helping and serving you.
Okay, well, if you listen to this podcast, you think you know Jeff Landon, but today you're actually going to get to know the man behind Senior Guapo.
the man behind the man behind the man, which all happens to be the same man.
Yeah. So we think why is this kind of thing important, Bobby? Why do we care about getting to know Jeff?
Well, I think we were kind of talking about this before we started. It's especially right now, I feel like you see a lot of awareness around brands, who you're buying into. If you're going to give somebody your support, it does matter who they are.
Yeah.
So I've come to know Jeff and actually really like him. And
Turns out.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Yeah. To everyone's surprise.
But I think it's important. I think you should know if you're supporting somebody's business, like what visions are behind that business and what his goals are and who he is and where he puts his time and energy when he's not at work. I think it's important. It's getting to know someone.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's so important to know who you're supporting or who you're dealing with.
Yeah, we all kind of do this, I
Matters.
think. So
Yeah.
let's let him behind the curtain, Jeff.
Behind the curtain.
How about this? Let's start just where you grew up and tell us a little bit about your family growing
I
up.
love where I grew up. So I grew up in Templeton, originally from Westchester, and then moved to Templeton when I was like 5. Actually, first to Atascadero, then to Templeton. We moved in with my, we call him the fake aunt uncle, but Auntie Di and Uncle Norm. And I do remember at like 5 years old having massive whipped cream pie fights in their front yard.
That's fun.
In the heat of Atascadero, and then just getting sprayed off and hosed off. It was super cool. And then my parents, we moved into a mobile home, a really, really old mobile home. And for the next, we didn't finish the house until I was like in 10th grade, probably. We just worked on this house all the time. So I remember working on that place a lot, and went to Templeton High School and did pretty good in school. Had some struggles in school, but did well as far as grades and everything. Then went to Cal Poly. So basically been here locally forever. I tried to get into Pepperdine and I got on the wait list. I was close, but didn't quite make
Still
it.
waiting.
Yeah, still waiting.
How about siblings? Do you have siblings?
I think my parents ripped up the letter of like, oh, you're in now. They're like, we can't afford that crap.
Yeah. Nope.
So though,
That's
two
the story
brothers.
we're going with.
Yeah, that's the story we're going with. Two brothers. They're awesome. They both are doctors or PhD and MD, and super fun. Like when you get all of us together, we are cracking up, laughing, and having a blast because we're ridiculous and we love quoting corny old movies. And yeah, we're the ridiculous Landons. Most people in that genre know the Landons pretty well because we had my house was open to like anybody every Friday night. So we had tons of kids coming over all the time and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Special family.
It was a special family. My dad and mom are amazing people.
They're great.
They are. Yeah. Most people are like, oh yeah, it makes sense that you're maybe Mark Landon or Jody Landon's son because they're cool. So yeah, my mom was
cool.
She was at the Parable bookstore, a little Christian bookstore for years. So she was like a little staple in the community. Like everybody knew my mom. So
That's so sweet.
yeah, super sweet.
Okay, so let's fast forward. You're in real estate. How did you get into real estate? Why do you care about real estate?
Yeah, so I've always geeked out on real estate. I remember when Phil Puskioski was like a big deal. He was like a real estate investor guy, and he blew up on YouTube. And I was like, man, this is really cool. I remember reading Rich Dad Poor Dad and like all those books that everybody always reads and gets all into it. I'm like, I'm gonna get passive cash flow. I was working as a landman, which is like someone who puts in easements or right of ways and crap like that for an oil company called ConocoPhillips. And in 2000, gosh, what was that? Yeah, 2012. I was like, oh, oil's really slow, and I'm probably gonna get laid off because there's no work. I mean, my files were perfect. I'd gone through them all. They were like, and the projects weren't getting approved. There's just nothing happening. So I got my real estate license. And then I kind of did it on the side for about 5 years until 2017. In that time, I became a business development director for the Western U.S. for lubricant sales, selling lots of lubricant, like millions of gallons of oil. It was a blast. But I was gone away from the family a ton. In that time, I was referring people to one of my good buddy realtors and making little like cuts off of that, like little 10% of the commission cuts. And then all of a sudden I was like, I'm going to do this for myself, and jumped in both feet, started a little brokerage. And then I ultimately ended up at Keller Williams, where it was like, this is freaking awesome. Like, great support. It's just back office and like the values and everything with Keller Williams was like, this is where I need to be.
So how long were you an individual agent before you decided you wanted to start a team, and why did you make that decision?
That's a good question. How long ago did I start a team, Travis?
3
years ago. So it was until 2017 to 2021 then is when I started a team.
Because you're successful. You didn't need to.
Yeah. A matter of fact, I was more successful, like financially, you could say, before I had a team.
Yeah.
I think you make more money as a solo agent than as a team lead. But you do that for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted time back, which you can't get. And then I also found that I like love working with people that love what they do and want to impact people's lives also. So, and then I also like making an impact in people's lives that are on my team. I feel like I get to do that a bit and make friendships. I think friendship is probably like one of my biggest values, is like having close friends. So for example, me and Travis and me and Bobby, we've become like such dear, close friends. So like, I love that, and being able to work with people, the people that I love and care about. I just don't want to be by myself. I didn't really start a team until I had David, my brother, as my assistant. And that's not really considered a team even. So he came on full time with me, and then we were killing it. I'm like, we have the ability to bring people on. We started bringing people on.
He's so smart.
Like,
he was so fun
wicked.
to have around.
He
I
was
miss
so
him.
wicked
fun.
smart.
Yeah.
He's so fun. Yeah, I miss him too.
Dang it.
He's a great addition.
He was.
I want to go back just for a second,
Yeah.
because there's something that I appreciate about you and your work ethic. I just have to say, like, there's a missing piece to this story, and I've seen it, and I just want you to explain for a minute. I know that when you say you had some challenges in high school, you've had to work through some things that aren't typical, not necessarily everybody has to work through, but I've seen it impact your business and your work ethic so much. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Let's be real, people. So we all get dealt a different hand in life, right? And I was super lucky, super blessed to have like the most amazing family. And I had really good friends, although like everybody, we had some drama and friendships and stuff in high school, but I had really good friends as well, that I still spend time with even today. But I have dyslexia, which I don't really share too much. And it makes me kind of tear up because there's like some emotions around that. It was really tough to keep up in school. Like, I kind of had it down to a science. Like for every 3 hours of work I did, my friends would do about 1. So I had to work way, way more. That disability was really tough for me. And it was frustrating. I remember being in AP English because I really understood English really well, but I just couldn't read as fast. And I remember being in the AP English as well as the remedial English class at the same time. It was like, I'm in this class to learn how to like spell with these other kids that don't give a crap about school, which I really did. And then I'm in this AP English class at the same time. And it was just frustrating. And my mom, like such a saint, like she spent so much time working with me. I'm a big believer in like parents doing homework with their kids, because, and my wife is really good at that, actually better than I am, but because I think that's where you like bond, but also like that encourages the kid to get through the stuff they don't understand. So if they're not understanding, it's like sitting down with your kid and helping. But my mom did that like crazy with me. She was amazing. Especially because I got pulled out of school in 2nd grade. So I did second again, and then 3rd grade with her because I just couldn't keep up. I was a young in those days, and so I just needed that extra year to kind of like developmentally start catching up. And it wasn't really until I'd say I was a junior in college that my disability was pretty hidden from sight from, at least from me. Like I was like, I can compensate with my other skills so that my disability wasn't impacting like my study time and stuff. I figured out how to learn differently than just going to a lecture and writing notes. Yeah. So that was like a whole thing in college for me to learn and like learn how to overcome. But that was a lot of work.
That's big. There's a few things that come from that. One, the work ethic, and two, the way that you receive people when they don't understand, or like the way you teach is a gift that I think that I don't know where else it would have come from, but when I see that and I see, like, I know how approachable you are. I can imagine if clients don't understand something or they want clarity on a contract, but even running a team, if there's something that someone isn't quite sure of, like that ease of like, you know, once you've been somewhere, it's so much easier to guide someone through.
Totally.
It's okay not to understand.
One of the things that I, especially in the beginning, appreciated about you and still do is you are very busy with work and life, and we'll get to some other stuff you're involved in, but you almost always pick up. You know, you're so available. And I know you're like coaching kids, soccer's. You're like, yeah. So the form you want to fill out is this, and so you're a great teacher. You're super available, and to hear kind of where that's come from, it's always interesting to know this like nature versus nurture thing. Like one of the things we spend a lot of time on in our team is strength finders and you know, Enneagram. These helping really encourage the team, and also just figure out what lane we need to be in. Right?
Totally.
You hold leadership very loosely, which I really appreciate. It's like you want the team to win, you want the individuals on the team to win, and you want the thing that we create to be better and greater than the sum of its parts. Totally, so if we can get everyone in the right lane running and giving them ownership, we'll all do better. And so one of the things that we've noticed with you is like you've got this gift of focus as one of your top 5 strengths and Strength Finder. And it's like now that I'm hearing a little bit of the story, it's like, gosh, did that focus come from, is that a nature or a nurture thing? It's probably a little bit of both, but it's interesting hearing kind of how you had to at least take the seed of that strength and develop it over your life. So
yeah, and I think what's interesting is like I learned that I'm a big picture person. I can't, if you're like, hey Jeff, this is the the elements of this process that happen, and like I'm thinking of science right now. It's like, okay, this happens. I'm like, cool, lost, gone. But if I can tie the whole thing to like, this is why it needs to happen, and then all of a sudden I can connect it all. So I do that a lot in real estate as well. It's like, I can connect all the dots for somebody, so they can see the big picture, understand the big picture.
Yeah.
But it's like, if it's just one piece of the process, I'm not going to ever get it. It has to be the whole thing. I need to understand the whole thing so that I can tie it all together, make it make sense in my mind. And then once I complete that in my mind, it's like, I get it. I get how this works. And so the same thing with the team. It's like my people are my missing pieces. And so it's like, to get good at even this podcast or whatever, like I need the missing pieces to make it happen. I can see what needs to happen. I see that, this will be really good, but like I can't do it all myself. I need to have these missing pieces of the puzzle put together. And so when you start leaning on other people's strengths, I've learned that it's really okay not to be the man. It's really okay to lean on, hey, I need Travis, I need your help on this, or Zach or Thomas or Heather. Like Heather is so vital. Even my wife, hey, what do you think about these pictures? What do you think about the staging? Like, Bobby, what do you think about our brand? What do you think about this concept? Like I am the person who's always asking for input, because I grab it from everybody and I try to put together the big kind of picture.
Yeah. It seems like that also allows you to have time for the things that aren't just work. So you have a team that you can rely on now, which you've built successfully. So what are some things that you feel passionate about outside of real estate? I'm super passionate. I run at like 100% passion. I'm one of those people who's like, is there like a 10% passion button on for you? I'm like, nah, it's like kind of 100% or nothing, right? So I've always been outdoors, guys. I was really into scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout. So the values of being in scouts has always been something big for me. Still remember the scout oath and the law and all of that good stuff. So outdoors was important. My dad ran a nonprofit called the Nature Corps, and he did a great job with it. It was amazing. At one point, it was actually really quite a large nonprofit. It shrunk back in recent years as my dad's gotten older and doing it at a different capacity. And so really out of some kind of like tragedy, a couple of years ago, my dad got it was a tough time. He went through a valley fever, and he was in the hospital 10 days. And I was like, man, who's going to take over this business? I'd been talking to him about it a bit, but I just kind of jumped in and took over it. And he was really sick. So I started running the Nature Corps, and I love it. And what it's evolving into right now has been so sweet and so special. I mean,
this last week we had 21 youth with 5 chaperones come on a trip. And the schools that we serve a lot of times are schools kind of like in remote areas of California where they have a little less access to the things that we have here in SLO or in the cities and stuff. And so we took kids. These kids are they're just, I can't even explain how phenomenal these kids are. Like, they're just the sweetest, most amazing kids. Are so kind to each other. I'm like, how is this possible? I don't see that here locally as much even. And they are so grateful to be going out in the nature and having this experience. So 4 days they went camping with me, and I just show them a really good time. We were up in Yosemite, and I teach them about gratitude and showing gratitude, and we talk about different things. We had a really cool ranger that was, have we been on, not recording, I'm just kidding. We had a really cool ranger that was like talking about like acorns and like how the Native Americans tied it all into mindfulness, and like the really impacted the kids' lives. And then on our last day there, and we had the Northern Lights going off in Yosemite. Like, it was cool. We were taking pictures. So like you can see with your naked eye, but like when we started taking pictures, it was like, whoa, that's like next level. So anyway, the last day we're doing our gratitude of like, hey, what are you thankful for in this trip? What happened? And we're all sharing. And a lot of it was about each other. And it was like one kid sharing about how this person said something to them and how this person did something to them. And then it went to the teacher, and the teacher, how grateful they are about the teachers. And then they went to me, and like literally all of us are just crying. Like, I'm trying to fight back the tears, and I'm crying. The kids are crying. It was just like so sweet and so special. It was just a gift. And so I love that, being able to I do about 6 weeks a year of that. And then we had an adult trip actually right after. And it was like the same thing. It was so special. I was able to have like it's kind of like helping adults become kids again and experience this grandeur of Yosemite and everything, and give back and volunteering. So I'm really into outdoors and mountain biking and hiking and all those fun things.
Love it.
Dang. What do you see as like the future? Like, what are you hopeful for in terms of like Nature Corps, then also just professionally? Like, how do you think about the next 5 or 10 years of your life?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things I'm super stoked on when it comes to like Landmark Group. I think we are building an amazing team of people that really genuinely care about our clients and helping them reach their goals. So I think it's like a fundamental difference between certain agents and then us. Like, I think a lot of agents are in the business to meet their goals and not their clients' goals. And honestly, we care about our goals. We have goals that we care about and we want to achieve. And those goals all revolve around helping our clients meet their goals. And there's nothing better that we experience than handing someone a set of keys to their dream home, or helping someone get out of a tough situation and sell their house, or find that transition point. Like, that is amazing. But what I would like to see for Landmark is us become like the real estate agency that people go to when they know they really want to be taken care of. It's like, these guys and gals are going to take care of us and make sure that our goals are met. And that's our dream, and that we could get bigger and bigger so that we could do more and more of that and attract the right people. Like, I think that's something that we've really learned, is like, we need the right people on our team to do that. People that have a heart to serve, people that care more about the client's interests than they do their own. People say that. That's an easy thing to say, but like, to actually demonstrate it time and time again. I just had a client saying, yeah, Jeff talked us out of so many houses that would be so bad for us, right?
Yeah.
And like, having that heart, to serve and to do that. And I think we'll draw the right people into our team. We're not the biggest team. We're not the most productive team, I would say. But when it comes to heart and passion around real estate and people, I think we're the best.
We're up there on production.
We are up there.
You're definitely up there on production.
Yeah. Don't sell us short there, Jeff.
We're not the highest or the best, but I think we're going there. And I think if you have the right values, the core values, and you focus on those instead of the numbers, and you focus on the core values and what you do in the process, like our process that we've really worked hard on and honing in, then those things will come.
It's great.
So they're leading indicators of like what will come.
Yeah. Yeah. It's building a team has been really interesting, trying to figure that kind of stuff out. Like, what process do we use? And I think it's the easier thing to just start going, and you get a little ahead of yourself. So I've appreciated, while we, like you said, we have goals and we're working towards achieving them and everything. It's like, we've also spent a ton of time on back end stuff and processes, and how do we talk about this, and what sets us different, and what kinds of people do we want to work with, and all that kind of things.
I think it's so funny because the people we've recruited, like these two awesome guys, Thomas and Zach, you know, they're we didn't go after people that were going to make us a ton of money. We went after people like, whoa, this person really is demonstrating they have the heart to serve, and they like the things that they told me when we were interviewing that they were passionate about, and things that they were excited about, and their family and people and like their local friends here, like that is what attracted to work with them. I'm like, I can teach them real estate, but it's hard to teach heart issues.
Well,
like
it's not like an either or. It's just a prioritization that you made.
Yes.
It's like, let's start with the heart and the values and all that. The production will come.
Yeah.
You know, so
we've
it's not like you're sacrificing production.
Yeah.
You just want to make sure, like you talk about this all the time, Bobby. It's like, know who you're getting into business with.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. To me, that is the top priority for sure. Because it's true. We have all the tools to help them grow their business.
Yeah.
It's like, we want to feel invested in them too. I want to be invested in good people and help them do good things. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Nature Core, what I'm seeing is a place where I had to go recruit people to be a part of the program, to like now people are like just drawn to the program. So it's
cool.
Becoming kind of easier, and I've streamlined the processes and stuff like that. So it's becoming easier to do. It'll probably I'll probably find people to help like volunteer. Actually, I found people. I'm seeing the people that are going to become part of the organization that love it, have a passion around it. Like, it's funny, my neighbor, Beth, like, she's amazing with the kids. I'm like, oh my gosh. Jay Pete, who's a friend of ours from Keller Williams, like, he's amazing with the kids. He was making hiking sticks. So, like, it's the people, and that business is all about the people. Like, I don't necessarily want that to be the most huge thing in my life and, like, a huge business, like, production. But I want the right people in it. And I think when that's happening again, I think we'll see it grow and see our impact in people's lives grow. And it's funny, I think our clients, like, would value like that, the Nature Core as well. I can see a lot of our clients eventually going on trips and having experiences in nature. And like, I've gotten really good at showing people a great time in nature. It's really fun. We have the best chef. This guy made like 5 different Thai foods, and like, I mean, it's just unbelievable experience.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
And then like also family, just seeing the kids grow up. Like right now, I think that's a huge part of my life, for both my wife and I, but like just watching our kids kind of morph into little humans and trying to instill the right values in them. And we're kind of countercultural people, you know. I think that's something that's always been in me. I was never the popular guy in school and never tried to be. And we're kind of countercultural. And so I think my kids are, hopefully too. And I mean, that's like in our household, I think we struggle with the things that people struggle with, like video games, TV watching. And for me, it's really important to get them outdoors or get them outside playing or talking to friends or doing it with friends. I think that's even something to consider, is like, how do we handle video games and stuff like that? Because there's just so much influence in our youth. So I'm passionate about that right now. And I probably will be until my kids are all graduated. But probably forever I'll be passionate about our youth.
You're going to be a fun granddad.
Oh,
You're going to be, because like adventure is your middle name. So you are
adventure.
going to
I love it.
Crush that role.
I love our youth. I think we're hard on our youth.
Yeah.
In society. We're really hard on them. But like hanging out with these kids, I'm like, oh, like, yeah, they're different than how we were, for sure. But dude, they're pumped out of their mind. Like, I mean, it was funny, like some of the boys, when they were talking, they're like, that just leveled us up like 3 skills, you know, blah, blah, blah. You might have to edit some of this a little bit long, but like, they're talking like, as we're doing hikes, they're just talking a different language that we we're not used to. It's fun. Yeah. It's super cute. And yeah, so it's cool.
Leveled us up.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, you got more?
It's just so great. Yeah. It's great for everyone to get to know you. You're definitely like, got strong faith and a strong vision. And I think it's worth sharing for sure.
And I'm just lucky to be local here. I think when I was younger, like just out of college, I was like, I missed out on like going away and that whole thing. And now actually I think it's like such a blessing that I never had to move away. I don't think you can find yourself just by moving away. It's like you find who you are by the people you're around with, by working on yourself, I'm big into personal growth stuff. I'm like a geek, and probably too much so, to be honest. But like, I think you really get to know who you are by like how people judge you and like look at you like, oh, Jeff's that faithful, reliable guy. And that's what I want. And
well, you also, accept feedback really well, and like
You've gotten it from all of us.
well, I mean,
get a lot.
It's like you ask for it, and then you try your best to like pivot based on what people are telling you and the feedback you're receiving, which a lot of people don't. It's like they don't want the feedback, or if they get it, it's like I'm not changing, and you're like very, very humble about that sort of thing.
I need the feedback.
We know.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I need
That's
it.
why-
No, seriously. It's true. It's so true.
That's what we're here for.
We really are like family. We're like,
We
oh,
are.
we'll tell you.
Well, it's true. It is
Yeah,
true.
it's good friendship.
Well, Senor Guapo, we like you a lot.
I love you guys.
Thanks for your time.
You all the best.
Thanks,
we're,
buddy.
We're so lucky too. Just a shout out to our
Jeff,
clients.
You're done.
Our clients are just so
Clients are
amazing. Our
great.
clients have become such good friends. Like we just had our client appreciation event, and it was so sweet. Even like the people that provide us services that are like outside of our clients, but provide us services like our bookkeeper, our transaction coordinator, like our escrow people. Like we just have we're so fortunate.
You've
Well,
created a community.
It's a
Yeah.
community.
You really
Yeah.
have.
We're
And
so
if you're
lucky.
not a client and would like to be, please reach out to
Oh,
Jeff
that's good.
Landon.
Oh, yeah.
Or just if you want to get invited to the parties.
Totally.
I think still.
Come to the party.
Parties are worth buying a home over. I mean, that's for sure. So, hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys.